Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to another session with the fabulous Michelle from Tales of Knots. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
So, Michelle, I'm pretty sure everyone's mind is blown after your presentation on how to add bust and hip shaping to your garments. It was such an in-depth presentation that honestly, it's one to watch over and over and over. And even while you crocheting your next sweater, this is something to have on in the background and listen to it. If you need to make any modifications to any of your makes that you're making, this is definitely the presentation to watch again and again. So we've got people popping over in the comments, and as I expected, what an amazing presentation! Absolutely, and we have had lots of conversation going on under your YouTube video as well. So come on over, people, ask your questions. Michelle is here to have her brains picked by everyone.
I was worried it was sort of getting too in depth, but my husband was saying, well, should you make it shorter? And I was going, I don't actually know what I would take out. I feel like everything is
such a topic, isn't it? Yeah, it's such a big topic.
Take something out, it's like a piece of puzzle and everything would just fall apart.
Everything doesn't make sense. I need that part and I need that part.
Yeah, otherwise this bit doesn't make sense. And that, absolutely. Julia's like, I'd definitely be watching this one again and taking lots of notes, definitely.
Yes.
I think
Make sure you don't purchase the replay so you can
get the lifetime access for this one alone, I'd say. But the diagrams for me, that was the thing that did it, like actually physically seeing this is where you do it, this is where you measure, this is how you change, makes such a difference.
For me, that's one of the ways I learn too. And you can show me a diagram too where it's like A equals this and B equals this and C equals B minus A, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not following it. And then if someone says, well, it's 4 minus 2, and then you're left with 2, I'm like, all right, I'm following that. Yeah, okay. And then if you see it written down or like shown in a picture, I follow it much easier.
Yeah, and this comment is priceless because I know that Sleepy Bear, she's been asking, Sleepy Bear's been asking about modification on patterns, and I hope we have answered your prayers.
It sounds like it. Your new best friend.
I've got a new best friend.
Yay! Best friend. And Jan says, mind blown. Kid, that was so much info. It absolutely was.
It was a lot.
Absolutely gold dust. Bonnie saying, I've got the VIP pass, so all these sessions are there for me to watch again when needed. Yeah, this is absolutely I think all of them are definitely worth revisiting many times, but this one especially, because then you can pace yourself, I think, can't you? And you can learn being able to relate each aspect, because I did that as well when I was telling you, wasn't I was doing the ironing the other day while I was watching it before we got going, and every time I paused it and I was like, right, which of my designs does this now relate to? Put it into real terms of how you would then do it. Absolutely brilliant.
I think Michelle has all the designers questioning their designs afterwards.
Absolutely don't question it. Like, I mean, I know these lovely ladies say all the time, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so if you've never made like a bigger garment or something, put it on a bigger body and gone, well, this doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? Hang on a minute. And then gone and done like a deep dive. And sometimes it's just about knowing, like sometimes you might stumble upon a pattern style that fits you or that doesn't fit you, and you go, okay, well, I know I like the peplum, so I'll just keep doing the peplums. And there are different designs for different body shapes. One design doesn't have to fit every body shape.
That's right.
No. And I think then as makers, I think it's about, and we talked about this in the last 2 summits as well, about choosing the right pattern for you. About you're not going to know that until you perhaps try it, but I think go into a shop and see what works on you, see what styles work on you, and then look for a similar thing, because then actually, as long as it's well sized by that designer, even to standard sizings, that style should work better for you. Definitely. That's a good place to start. Kim was saying that's so much information to have a watch it a couple of times more. It was amazing. Excellent.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
It wasn't too much.
Request already. Please add a class for vertical or side to side made tops as well. That's a whole other ball game, isn't it? About to change.
I mean, it's in the works. It's coming. It will be there.
It's coming.
So if you want to make sure you don't miss it, sign up to my newsletter. I'm going to be doing a series of blog posts that hopefully like breaks down the bits and just goes into the detail that you can't possibly go into on a half hour. presentations.
But this is kind of just to dip our toes and make people aware of the things that you can do and the concepts that are out there that Michelle knows all about. So stick with it. Stick with her.
Some of it, I don't know everything either. If you ask me a question I don't know the answer to, I don't know, I will find out and I will come back to you.
So that's one of my questions. Where did you source all of this knowledge? What's your back? Do you have a sewing background?
I do have a sewing background. So I have the gene of seeing something and going, I could do that. It doesn't look too hard. So when I was 16, my school advertised like make your own prom dress. I think I could do that. Sure, I'll do that. Jump right in, made a full ball gown for prom.
Wow.
And then just keep going from there. So you learn all sorts of sewing things, some of which translate to crochet, some of which like are the opposite. In sewing, you would make it for the biggest size and you reduce the extra fabric.
Areas. Makes sense. Yeah.
Crochet the other way around. You make
cut it out.
Smaller proportionals and then you can easily add fabric. So sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't help.
Definitely. Carrie's saying you're a new best friend. In a debate of choosing a size of cardigan I want to make. Thank you for this. This will definitely help. And I think that's the thing. There's a lot of fear, isn't there? There's a lot of fear, understandably, with people of not wanting to commit to making a certain style, making a certain pattern, choice of your own. There's so many things to choose when you're making a garment. And then to add that layer.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I quite like cardigans because you don't need them to close over the front quite often. It depends on obviously the style you're making. Yeah. But if I'm choosing a cardigan, I will choose it based on my shoulder size because then that will fit the rest of me. And then if it just goes straight down the front, then that's the style of the cardigan I want. Or if I use a V-neck or something that might come further over. So there's a lot to go into when you're choosing a size based on what the shape of the cardigan is. But I like cardigans for that.
Definitely. And I assume cardigans are just generally more forgiving, aren't they, as you say, because they can be open, whereas the sweater you're stuck with the circumference of the sweater, aren't you, and it either stretches or it doesn't in the right places. So and the thing that struck with me as well is if I am not blessed with my chest, but even in some sweaters, the back, I have too much fabric at the back still. Yes, I have a broad chest, but it's not my proportions. I was like,
move the sleeves. That is the number one thing. Move the sleeves.
That's such an easy key thing to do, isn't it?
If you have too much fabric at the back, move the sleeves round because your arms are not in the middle of your. If your body is round, your arms aren't in the center. So
this is the thing, isn't it? On the standard sizings, they are like boxes, aren't they? It classes up as straight up and down boxes that are this wide and this long. And it's like, none of us are like that, are we? So
we're a little bit weird, sort of Minecraft people. Yeah.
I think my kids would love that.
How to tell you have kids.
Absolutely. We have someone saying, mind blown, we need a cow. Just saying, Michelle, to learn all this stuff.
Ask for a course.
All right, process. Now I know why I might never have the right fit. Can you explain the reallocating of the stitches a bit more?
So that's what I was talking about with moving the sleeves. So, I mean, you don't really have to count anything. It's just, it might seem weird to kind of say that you're taking it from the back and putting it on the front, but it literally just means that you're moving the sleeves around backwards a little bit. So if you're using markers and you're going top down, that will be much easier for you to do. But also if you're going bottom up in the round, where it tells you to do the sleeves or to join them together, just take a few stitches off the back and stick them on the front. So join them a few stitches further around the back. And that will help reduce the fabric at the back and give you extra fabric on the front. I hope I'm explaining that right.
Definitely.
Yes, rather than having, say, 20 stitches on the front and 20 stitches on the back,
have 18 on the back, 22
on the back, and 22 at the front. So then your sleeves will then automatically move ever so slightly to the back.
So you don't change the sleeves. You just
the sleeves. And I assume the margins can be as big or as small as you like in that, as long as you do it evenly on each side.
You can totally changes. So I do it on this. I do it on this top. And it's, I don't know if you can see, it's a triangle stitch pattern. So it's one triangle further back on each side.
Right.
So I get 2 triangles less on the back and 2 more triangles on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's a great idea.
Oh, and Red Hook said, first time I've understood how to use short rows. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad I can help.
Short rows seem to be so scary for people, don't they? And I think, I don't know if it's because people associate them with knitting or just being more complex, or
I don't know. Also, you find a lot of videos where people show you how to do short rows, but what they're showing you is physically how to turn and go back. But then they're not showing like how you actually continue going in the round, how you go over the edges.
Yeah.
That's something I couldn't include in this video, otherwise it would get ridiculously long, because it varies depending on the stitch you're using. But this part is often missing from the videos that do show you how to use short rows. So hopefully that's matched them up a bit in people's minds.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many little tricks that I think people avoid in garment making because they make such a difference, don't they? Just adding those short rows wherever you decide to add them. There's lots of places, aren't there? You can add them wherever you decide to add them. And if they're not in the
back of the neck for like to raise the back a bit, they're very useful.
Yeah, I like that. And I liked it. As I've done a couple where you raise it just after you split for the sleeves. I've done it there as well, just to raise that part of it. And that just shifts it just a tiny bit forward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's really, really easy to do.
I wonder whether you could then use short rows for accommodating like a pregnancy belly, pregnant belly. Just make the front of it.
Why not?
Just stick them on the side, because nobody really looks like very closely at the side of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they're talking to you on the front, you can't really see what the sides are. Plus, your arms tend to cover them.
Yeah. Well, that's a key thing. Is there more advice you could give on where to add all of these things? Obviously, you said at the time.
I might need to separate this out so that you can go into more in-depth detail of how exactly to add the short rows at the side. But essentially, it's between your side seam and just a little bit outside of your bust. So whether you're going down or whether you're going up, the angle of the rows need to point towards your nipple, essentially. Because otherwise you'll end up with the extra length in the wrong place. And then you'll have more fit issues, which is not the purpose of it.
I was going to say, and it makes me think of, so my husband's tall and slim, but he's very, very broad. And so he needs basically the same size jumper or shirt as my dad, bless him, who has quite a significant tummy on him. And so in clothes shopping, my husband finds it really hard because he has so much excess fabric around his stomach he doesn't need. And so, but now you get in shops, you get slim fit, you get skinny fit, you get all of these different shirt types and stuff. But you don't necessarily get that in women's clothing, I don't think, do we?
It's too complicated for them to figure it out.
It's so complicated. It's much easier on men, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to
many contours
too much. If I have a shirt that fits my bust, I mean, my shoulders are hanging off down here, or sack of potatoes with no shaping at all. And so, it's really difficult to get women's clothing that actually fits average women's bodies. There's no such thing as average.
No, I know. And that's the thing. And as a designer, that's what I find the Craft Yarn Council, the lengths of things get so much longer. But actually, just because you're a larger size doesn't mean you're taller.
No. No, exactly. And so there's a slight extra length that you need because you have more surface area. But then also what they forget is that the more crochet fabric you have, the heavier it is. And so it grows anyway. So when you've got the same amount of added length on the different sizes, by the time you get to a 5X, you're wearing a tunic down your ankles. It's not meant to be that at all. It's so hard. And I think it's hard to then give the responsibility to the maker to then go, right, well, you need to figure this out for your shape and your body size. This is amazing that you're giving all of this resource and information to kind of break it down. It's equally hard for designers to try and include everything for every different size possible. So
definitely. Oh, Sleepy Bear saying, I'm so relieved. I felt like an outsider trying to do crochet through a filter of sewing and I couldn't make it fit together. Thank you so much. Oh,
you're very welcome.
That's so lovely. And Linda here from South Africa. Thank you. I'm really enjoying this discussion. Oh,
great.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah. So what if you had more time? What other topics what else is there to delve into?
Well, it's all the other different combinations. So, I did it for adding length if you are making something bottom up or top down, but then also there's adding length if you're going side to side, or there's adding width in the other directions. And so all the different combinations of one you can do is, it will be really, really long. So I am hoping to kind of expand on this series a bit more, but also then to like show you how you would do it with different stitches, how you turn so that you haven't got a gap or something. So
I think we should definitely expand on all these topics and put it all together in a course.
How you go over the edges, and there's a lot of
absolutely. So because it might be easy for some, but some people, if people never done it before, they'll get to the edge of the short row and they'll be like, well, what do I do here now?
What do I do?
Like, you told me to do the short row, but you didn't tell me what to do with the end of the short row. So
and I think especially in garment making, you want it to be as brilliant as it possibly. I mean, you want every piece of crochet to be as brilliant as it can, but especially in garments that you're going to wear. And if you have any kind of doubt as to, I don't quite know how to do this bit, then of course it's going to be scary, isn't it?
It can be so off-putting, and then you just don't want to try, and it ends up half made in a whip pile that's sort of staring at you accusingly.
Or you finish it and then you're like, I'm not very happy with the fit.
It doesn't fit.
So it's worth the time investment. All of this, everything that we've talked about over the last 2 days, it's all worth the time investment to learn about it and to understand and connect with the community, etc. So where can people find you, Michelle? Where's the best? Have you got your community?
So I have a Facebook group. You can join the Tales of Knots Facebook group, Tales of Knots Crochet Community, I think it is. You can get me on Instagram. You can get me on my Facebook page. I have a YouTube channel, which will be sort of coming out with more, probably on this topic for a while. And I'll be doing a video as well of I was just at H&H conference with some of the lovely makers that have been in this garment summit. So I'll be doing a vlog style video of everything we did there. So you can catch that in the next week. Where else? I think that's about it.
Brilliant.
But to beat all the algorithms and all the obstacles in our ways, I think best
newsletter. Sign up for
newsletter. So we have got a link inside the summit platforms. Whether you're on a free or VIP ticket, you can sign up to Michelle's newsletter, and you'd be then kept in the loop about anything and everything that Michelle's going to do on this topic as well as everything else. So
and email me. I love receiving emails, and I will reply to you if you give me your life story.
I reply to people and they're like, oh, I didn't expect you to answer me. Of course I'm going to answer you. If you've written to me, I'm going to answer you. Kim said, that's me too. I've never heard of all of this, but it's so for me. I have a lot to learn. Thank you. And that's the thing. I think there's lots of people, even me as a designer, there's lots of bits here that I'm like, oh, yes, I think in my head that I knew that was possible, but I wasn't quite sure how that would actually practically work. So it's very important to be okay with yourself and not worry about the fact you haven't heard about this before. It really does.
I'm always learning still new things.
We all are, aren't we? And Sarah was saying just before, like, you don't know what you don't know until you find out that you don't know it.
Exactly.
It helps you build for the future, doesn't it? And and like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen in crochet? Nothing terrible is going to happen, is it?
Yeah, we did establish yesterday there is no such thing as crochet police. So just
we talked about that lots yesterday.
Yeah, that's very true.
So one of the questions that I was thinking is, does it depend on the style of garment? So are there some garments that, do you know what, it doesn't matter, you really don't need to worry too much about adding X, Y, or Z shaping to it? Are there some that are more giving?
Yeah, the lacier it is. I mean, this, I don't use any additional shaping. So I don't know if you can really see. This is like a raglan top with a flutter sleeve. I've done the trick of moving the sleeves back, and then that's given me the extra fabric at the front that I needed. And because it's lacy too, it goes in at the side and just comes out again. And you don't need to add any extra length because it will stretch over, width because it will stretch over. So, I mean, if you're really looking to avoid adding shaping, go for a lacy open mesh like stitch. If you've got sort of dense solid stitch in a heavy fabric, then you absolutely will probably need to add shaping if you have a bust to cover it. Otherwise you're going to have something that rides up at the front. So definitely the construction does make a big difference.
And you even go down to like a fiber choice, because different fibers would allow you to do different tricks to add shaping, wouldn't you? So some fibers would definitely be more forgiving than others, wouldn't they?
Animal fibers definitely will have more stretch. Plant fibers will stretch out but then stay there, so then they might end up looking a bit baggy. Blends are going to be the best thing to sort of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. My mind is going 10 to the
yes.
Oh my goodness, about all these. I'm like, oh. But would I be right in saying that but then the larger the sizes are, the more close fitting you actually want things compared to and this is lots of, it kind of, it feels like backward logic, doesn't it? Especially to people, I know lots of my testers that are in the larger sizes, they're like, nope, I want to make it as big as I possibly can, and I'm like, no, make it slightly smaller, and you'll actually get a better fit overall.
Because it almost needs to be designed a bit differently, because if you've got 4 inches of ease on an extra small, a much larger size isn't going to want 4 inches of extra ease, because the weight of the fabric will pull it down and stretch it out, and you will end up looking a bit baggy, and that's not really what it was designed to look like on the extra small person. But it's really difficult to have something that looks the same on every person if it's designed the same and there's not really any different instructions. So if you're looking at a raglan and it's just increase until you get to your bust circumference, I'm sorry to say, but it's not going to fit over a size large. It's just not going to look right. So it does have to have different instructions the larger you get in order for it to look the same.
Yeah. I did a raglan pattern many moons ago when I was like thinking that I know what I'm doing, but I was like,
like we all did.
Yes. So I started a raglan and I sent the pattern off to a tech editor, and I had the message that I'm just slightly worried about the depth of your yoke, because she said, it was kind of, I was working out the increases, and like you said, just get to the bust. That's where you need to get to.
And then you have an armhole down here.
Absolutely. And she's like, I'm just ever so slightly worried about the depth of your yoke. And I was like, actually, now you said that, I am too. So then it was
a penguin stuck with their arms down. They
absolutely. And I did end up completely, when I got to, I think it was somewhat like extra large size, I ended up completely rewriting the pattern literally from the first round. It was completely different starting chain, and the speed of the increases, the ratio of the increases to get to a larger bust, but it's in much shorter, in much shorter kind of depth of the yoke as well. So it was like writing a completely different pattern. But when the tech editor says to you they're worried about the depth of your yoke, you do listen to them.
Well, that's probably where I've learned most of my information, is seeing what other designers have done wrong, doing the maths and going, your neckline is 70 inches wide. Definitely. I need to redesign that.
I regularly get the Franny Granny patterns and stuff that I did last year. I regularly get messages from people going, why is it so long? Why is the pattern so long? And I was like, because every single size had to be written separately and differently. Oh, wow. I did every.
So now it's properly designed. There you go.
I was exhausted, but I mean, again, as a design, there were lots of things like I didn't shift the armholes back. They are in the middle, but people can do that if they want to.
They can,
it's absolutely doable. But even without doing those things, it still ends up as and I think then that makes it. And lots of people have then messaged me to say it's quite intimidating. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm like, literally, just print out your instructions for your size. Then you will not be intimidated. Don't worry, it's fine.
Maybe you need like 10 different downloads, so you just download your size and that's full pattern.
But Michelle, we could talk about this forever, I feel. But we have time.
So it's been a pleasure, ladies. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And
thank you so much for putting so much work into your presentation. It's absolutely amazing. And I know you had to jump through a few hoops to get that done. So thank you.
It's my voice for a long time.
I know.
Thank you.
But everyone go sign up to Michelle, find her, because she will be coming out with more awesome stuff.
She'll be making courses.
She will. We'll make sure she does.
You're not getting away with this, Michelle.
I'm on it.
She's on it. Brilliant. Oh, awesome. Right, I can't believe this is the last one. It's now Veronika. If everyone wants to hop over to Veronika's YouTube And well, if you're already on it, watching on the live, then stay there. We're going to do an adventure in corner to corner, and then we'll see you back here afterwards for our final live. I'm a bit sad now.
I feel a bit nervous following now with my presentation.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Oh, brilliant stuff. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. It's been so wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.